Okay, Minolta. This is probably my favorite. Just point and shoot, toss in the bag, film camera. Besides one thing. When you have it on, and you have stuff in there, and you're trying to shoot something, if you go out with this at night, that little green LED right there lights up directly into your eye. Because you put it right up against that, and it just shines in there. This is not what we're talking about, though, even though it's beautiful. We're going to talk about probably my least favorite body from a company called Sony. I don't know if anyone's familiar or not, but this company's just so horrible at making software. And they also made this thing. This is called Sony A300. I think that a lot of Sony employees would like you to forget about the Alpha line and focus on what they're on right now. But this 2008 body has the specs of 10.2 megapixels, 730 shots through the viewfinder, 410 in the live view. It has an electronic zoom teleconverter and a Bions 1 image processor. 9.AF can do 16:9 and has 3 frames per second. The image stabilization, that's actually pretty cool, but this thing, it's a brick. It's not the worst to hold. Your pinky does fall off though, and then it's just way too long in the front. Well, in 2006, Sony made a purchase of Minolta altogether. They bought them out, and then they took the Minolta Maxim Dynax, I think it is, A mount, and then proceeded to use it on these cameras. I'll put a lens on there real quick. Now, instead of coming up with their own, this was probably more convenient, but there we go. This was announced in 2008 along with something called the Sony A350 rather than just the 300. And for the price that they were going for, I have no idea why anyone would ever pick this creature of a camera. These were released in January of 2008, as opposed to the Nikon D90, which a lot of people know. That one had 11 points of autofocus, 4.5 frames per second, 12.3 megapixels, and what I think the best feature is they didn't have this whole situation going on. I don't know who at Sony thought that this was going to be a worthwhile thing to do for a body such as this. But a compact flash slot here, just do SD. People are going to use an SD card slot. The Sony A350 had a 14 megapixel sensor, kind of eclipsing this one. It came in at a lower price than both of those two, but for just the convenience, the body size, the mount overall, I don't see why anyone would pick 2 more megapixels over having to use a camera that just ruined your day. I got this just because it was really cheap and it's a piece of history. What a horrible piece of history. You got the live view, not live view switch up there. Very chonkable flash. Power on, power off. I'm not charging this. I'm confident that it might explode if I keep saying bad things about it while it's charged. A unopenable slot over here to get to the remote and such. The Nikon D90 had a full-sized HDMI port, I believe it was. You've got the ISO slot, little button right here. Continuous shooting or not really worth it. The in-body autofocus is nice, I guess. If you can last more than a week on this, you've got your little click wheel here. AF exposure compensation, I think, is an interesting thing to have up there. As I believe most of us are familiar with, Sony decided that it was a need to have the exposure compensation on a little dial up top. I don't use it too often, but I know some people absolutely love that. But I think overall, if I had to pick between shooting with this or shooting with this, I'm picking this every day. Or if I had the choice of shooting with an actual microwave, I might pick the microwave still. It's just the autofocus really bad. I've used older bodies with better autofocus. This is a nightmare. I do have one good thing to say about this body. Right here, you can see the lens release mechanism is on that side. Very convenient, right? Very convenient. If you could see this one, they started putting the lens release mechanism on the inside right here, which is just really hard for people with fingers. Hold on, just wait here. Okay, so say we have a lens on this camera, and we see something in the distance. We really need to change lenses. Let's see how that would work. Assuming we have a lens coming out to about here, I'll just put my hand in the way here. Let's see how easily we can reach that, press it down, and then try and turn this while the lens is there. I just missed the cool thing. As opposed to a Nikon D3000. This thing might actually turn on, yeah. Alright, I need to change the lens. There's something really cool over there. Wow. Wow. What a great action shot. I just got that cool thing over there. I'll put a cool picture here to look at. Yeah, hopefully that wasn't all useless information to you. I think it's just funny that they bought Minolta. This is a point and shoot. They did have good film cameras and good other stuff. The first body in this series was not the 300. This is just the one that I have. They had the A100, A200, A300, A350. I think it may have gone all the way up to 500, actually. And then, funnily enough, you get to even stranger naming schemes of the A7 cameras. No clue where the 7 came from. You've got the A7S, A7R, A7, and then you had a 2, then you had a 3. I think it stops at 4. And then, I think the lineup there... Wait, I forgot the A7C. I don't know if there is just in... I don't know. That's it. I'll stop talking now.